Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the new-ish NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder and Krang 2-pack. It is new in that it's a 2-pack that wasn't released before, but the figures are the same-ish as the earlier releases. This set is intended to be for those people who don't already have the figures, or for the super collectors who just want to buy things. I am going to go over the differences. They are very slight. There are slight differences, maybe just as a matter of production, or maybe they're intentional, but there are a few differences, and that's why we're going to do this video, because I could easily have just said, it's the same stuff in a 2-pack. Look at my old videos. And you can do that for some of the specific things as far as articulation and whatnot, but I do want to go over the differences for those of you who are going to buy the 2-pack, or who are maybe piecemealing things out on eBay. Maybe you'll be able to decide if you want one version over the other. And there are some reasons why you may want to do that, so stick around. Alright, let's go ahead and get these guys off the stand so we can take a closer look. Alright, like I said, we're not going to go through articulation and everything, just going to do the differences. If you want to check out the specifics, there will be a video to that in the top corner there. Okay, or a link to that video. We're going to start with Shredder, though Krang probably has more of a difference to him. We will get to that. And we will get to accessories briefly. So the first thing to note about Shredder, whether it's intentional or not, his face pattern is slightly different. Also, the color of his helmet is slightly different. You'll notice on the new one, which is on the right, it has an almost greenish yellowish hue to it compared to the other one. Slightly different color. Now, as far as I can tell, the armor everywhere else is the same color, and it lines up more with this one, but if you only had this one to look at, I don't know that people would notice it, but for me, under this lighting, there is a noticeable difference in the helmet color. It's also slightly different pattern. You can see this here doesn't match this over here. A little bit of a different pattern. Whether that's intentional or not, it's hard to say. You can see it's kind of like the same shape that maybe just got laid on at a different angle, which is possible if they're using tampography for that. Hard to say for sure, but it is slightly different. A little bit different over here as well. You can see there's a little bit of a lighter color there, whereas it's not on this side. Just a little bit of a difference. As far as the rest of the body goes, I don't think there's anything drastically different except for the color of the skin tone. This guy's definitely got a more reddish skin tone. This guy has more of a yellowish skin tone. So you will be able to decipher that if you have a clear image, if you're like buying on eBay or whatever, or if you're just collecting them all, whatever the case may be. The new one definitely has a different skin tone. If you didn't have them side by side, you may not notice, but to me it's fairly obvious that this one has a much more yellow tint to the skin, whereas this guy is closer to like a peach or a pink color. This guy's more yellowy, pinkish peach. So a little bit of a difference there. As far as everything else goes, it seems to be about the same. I guess you could say the little skirt flap, the loincloth here, has more dark on it in this one and less on this one. That seems to me like it's probably just production variants, but everything else is pretty close. You can see, I guess, again, maybe it's just production variants for the shin armor, slightly different pattern for the different shading, but not anything that is going to be game changing. You're not going to notice it probably. The only differences really would be the color of the helmet and the color of the skin tone for Shredder. Okay, all right, we'll set him aside. They do still come with the accessories as you would expect. I'll just run through the accessories really quickly. We have the 2 fist hands that come on Shredder, 2 gripping hands, 2 style pose hands, a sword, a canister, a communicator, Krang's little tripod, and then Krang's big robot thingy. So let's go ahead and look at Krang. I'm going to leave the old one in here for now, if I can focus on him. Not for now, forever, because that's the way I wanted it in my display. I don't feel like taking it out. But the old Krang had a lot of paint on it. All of the pink was painted as far as I could tell. This new one is molded in pink. It actually makes it look much nicer. They did still paint the veins or whatever you want to call them and things on there, and it looks fine. As far as the paint goes, it's pretty much the same, but he is now molded in this pink color as opposed to painted. I much prefer that. It won't scratch, and it gives it this little bit of a gooey look to it, because plastic has a tendency to absorb a little bit of light and then bounce it back, so you can see kind of inside the plastic when it's this kind of plastic. It's not translucent, don't get me wrong. It just has a certain sort of like, I I'm pretty sure the official term is subsurface scattering, but it's kind of like real flesh where it does absorb a little bit of light. So it actually gives it a really nice look. So Krang's a little bit different in that regard. As far as the little robot walker thingy, what's different on it? As far as I can tell, nothing. It is essentially the same. Maybe the gray's a little bit yellower on the new one. Maybe. Again, that could just be production variants, but they are essentially the same thing. So, new ones, slightly different coloring. For Shredder, a little bit of different line work, but essentially they are just reissues. Production variants is going to make up for all of those differences. Maybe it's intentional, I don't know. But now you know, and you can decide if you want to buy the reissues, if you need to buy the reissues, or if you just want to add more stuff to your collection. You have the information, do with it what you please. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, that's okay, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you probably should, because I have new videos out just about every single day, and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.